Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 162. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics being released the 25th of February 2015, beginning as usual with my first five, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Batman number 39, Endgame Part 5, The Joker is Back, the penultimate issue of the Clown Prince of Crime's horrifying return. Plus, in the backup story, the inmates and Marine finally learn the truth about the Joker. Series writer Scott Snyder explained his plans for this story, quote, "It's only going to go downhill from here, for Bruce I mean. It really is something where we wanted to make this story feel like there's nothing off limits. We're not leaving anything on the table. I want this to be the story for me that I'm like anyone else is free to use the Joker at any point, should he survive. Ultimately, this has to be the last time I use him. That means nothing is sacred without doing anything to the character that's disrespectful. There isn't anything that I'll leave this story thinking, I wish I'd tried that, or I was afraid to try that," close quote. He went on to say, quote, "For me, the thing with the Joker that's so scary about him is he reads you very quickly. He's someone who's not crazy, he's just evil. His madness is almost an excuse for him to get to do the evil things he wants, meaning it's fine if people think he's crazy. It's almost a guise he wears, in my opinion. It's a way for him to be able to do the horrible things he does where if he wasn't actually crazy, people would say, that guy is so crazy, because they don't want to admit that there's somebody that evil. That is him. He knows he's evil and he's not pretending to be crazy. He just is who he is," close quote. At number 2, we've got Spider-Gwen number 1. Spider-Gwen spins into her own series because you demanded it. The breakout hit of the biggest spider event of the century is taking comic shops by storm this winter with her own new ongoing series, Spider-Gwen. Gwen Stacy is Spider-Woman, but you knew that already. What you don't know is what friends and foes are waiting for her in the aftermath of Spider-Verse. From the fan-favorite creative team that brought you Spider-Gwen's origin story in Edge of Spider-Verse, Jason Latour and Robbie Rodriguez. Series writer Jason Latour spoke about the differences in Gwen's world, quote, "All will be revealed over time, but it's a much more scaled-down universe, one that's a bit more in line with the way Peter Parker's world was around the time he first became Spider-Man. But, as we'll see, time moves relative to this story and isn't a direct parallel to the 616. It's very much its own reality, and the slightest change here or there have reconfigured things in unique ways. Some seemingly familiar characters have found themselves in very similar roles, others mirror inversions, and some have found completely different walks of life. One thing Robbie, Rico, Nick Lowe, and I are very cognizant of is not turning this book into a cover song, so it's very much going to reveal its own rules and wrinkles in time," close quote. At number 3, we've got All New X-Men number 38, the 4th chapter of the Black Vortex. With some of their members captured by the villainous Mr. Knife, the team must decipher the secrets of the Black Vortex, and quickly. But with the galaxy in chaos, they don't have too many options open to them. Maybe there's an old war buddy Peter can call to help them out? Series writer Brian Michael Bendis commented on the reaction of the all-new X-Men to the Black Vortex, quote, "Jean Grey damn well knows what happens to her when she grows up. She knows everything, but others are on a path, like Beast, of desperately looking for knowledge and power. And just because this power is offered, it doesn't mean every character will have a horrible price to pay. Some will get a power-up. So the X-Men are coming at it young and raw. There are also other characters like Angel who has his own experience with the dark power," close quote. At number 4, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 15, Spider-Verse Epilogue. See the fallout of Spider-Verse and what it means to Peter Parker and the rest of the Spiders. Senior editor Nick Lowe shared how Spider-Verse links to the upcoming Secret Wars, quote, "Absolutely in a lot of different ways. There's a few things. Dan Slott loves planting seeds and stuff, and there are some seeds that he planted along the way here that are going to have big effects on our spider plans for Secret Wars. We've only just kind of shown the tip of the iceberg as far as what we're doing in regard to Secret Wars. He had one teaser image that we didn't really say what it is yet. There are a few more bullets in our gun we're going to be firing off in the next month or so, but I cannot wait for people to see what we've got up our sleeves. The Secret Wars event, people are scared in part, rightfully, but knowing what we're doing and what's coming out, I think it's going to push some of the most interesting and unique creative visions anyone has seen or any major publisher has put out in a long time. It is so cool," close quote. And at number 5, we've got Darth Vader number 2. The original Dark Lord of the Sith stars in his first ongoing series. Ever since Darth Vader made his first on-screen appearance, he became one of the most popular villains to ever haunt an audience's dreams. Now follow Vader straight from the ending of A New Hope and the pages of the new Star Wars comic book into his own series, showing the Empire's war with the Rebel Alliance from the other side. Writer Kieran Gillen and artist Salvador LaRocca bring us a peek behind the mask of evil. Series writer Kieran Gillen described what it's like writing Darth Vader. Quote, "The classic line is that everyone is the hero of their own story. You make up all kinds of stories in your head to justify what you're doing. But for me, I'm very much fine seeing him being a villain. It's over 20 years on and he's still serving the Emperor. But he's definitely the protagonist. It's like The Godfather. It's like House of Cards. It's like Breaking Bad. It's an interesting story. In the first 6 movies, Anakin is the through line, and I get to continue that story. We know he's a villain, but we also know where he ends up. And as we get further into the book, we will see him surrounded by people worse than him. Palpatine is an amazing villain. Writing Vader and Palpatine is fascinating because of all the games going on. And in the next issue, we meet Tag, and he has an entirely different view on how the Empire should act. And we have the unknown individual who is in the first issue and not named. He's got his own philosophy on how the Empire should act too." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Spider-Man 2099, number 9. Miguel O'Hara returns to the year 2099 to discover that his future is now imperfect. At number 7, we've got Daredevil, number 13. Mark Waid and Chris Samney begin the climactic final chapter of their beloved Eisner Award-winning run with the return of one of Matt Murdock's oldest and now scariest enemies. At number 8, we've got Batman Eternal, number 47. In the new Order of Gotham City, Selina Kyle holds all the cards, and now it's up to Master Spy Julia Pennyworth to steal them back. At number 9, we've got New Avengers, number 30. Time Runs Out. And at number 10, we've got Men of Wrath by Jason Aaron, number 5 of 5. Jason Aaron and Ron Garney pull no punches in this darkly magnetic read. IGN. This is one messed up comic book that I took sheer delight in reading. Comics Beat. These are talented creators telling a gut-punching tale. Comicosity. Bear witness as Jason Aaron and Ron Garney bring the story of the Wraths to a bloody conclusion. It all started with some sheep. It won't end until everyone is dead. For the best of the rest, from DC Comics, we've got Arkham Manor, number 5. The insanity of Arkham Manor floods the streets of Gotham City. Next, we have Bodies, number 8 of 8. As Edmund solves the case of his life, Whiteman and Maplewood are offered the chance to save the world in very different ways, and Shahara uncovers the final mystery at the heart of Bodies. We've also got Catwoman, number 39. Will Selina save Gotham City, or will she burn it to the ground? Next, we have Deathstroke, number 5. Deathstroke versus Batman with Harley Quinn stuck in the middle. The most intense, brutal battle in the history of the New 52 takes place in this issue. We've also got Effigy, number 2. Homicide detective Grant Moore teams with neophyte police officer / resident TV kid cop expert Chandra Jackson to piece together the clues left when a strange body is unearthed in Effigy Mound, Ohio. What's even stranger than an eons-old corpse with a bullet hole in the head is the contents of its body. And when the pair meets a witness, they discover a twisted tie to Chandra's pre-Hollywood fame. Meanwhile, there's something odd brewing at the Influence Center bookstore. What is its disturbing connection to the mysterious corpse? Next, we have Gotham Academy, number 5. This month's assignment, uncover the hideous secret of Gotham Academy's North Hall. Also, smooching? We've also got Gotham by Midnight, number 4. Dr. Sandor Tarr is far from what anyone would consider social, but will it turn out he's more at home with an insect monster savaging Gotham City than he is with the Midnight Shift? Next, we have Secret Origins, number 10. Get ready for the new 52 origins of Batgirl, Firestorm, and Poison Ivy. And we've got Suiciders, number 1. In the post-apocalyptic city of New Angeles, killing isn't just a crime, it's entertainment. When the big one finally hit the West Coast, Los Angeles was left in ruins, and when the U.S. government decided to cut the city loose, things went from bad to worse. To survive, LA did what it does best. It turned survival into entertainment. Now, 30 years later, the city of New Angeles is thriving once more thanks to the blood sport known as Suiciders, a TV series that combines the spectacle of hand-to-hand combat with elaborate high-tech obstacles that test each competitor's ability to survive. But these competitors have an edge. They've been freakishly enhanced by drugs and technology. The results are both marvelous and monstrous as the man called the Saint begins to rise above his fellow suiciders. Suiciders is a dark post-apocalyptic epic that tells the story of a strange, brutal world, written and illustrated by Lee Bermejo, the #1 New York Times bestselling writer-artist behind Joker, Batman Noel, Luther, and before Watchmen, Rorschach. From Marvel Comics, we've got Amazing X-Men number 17, The Once and Future Juggernaut, part 3 of 4. Sure, the Juggernaut is bad, but what's the worst-case scenario possessing that power? You're about to see Unstoppable takes on a whole new meaning as someone finally gets their hands on Sidrek's gem. The X-Men have fallen, the Juggernaut rises, bring a change of underwear. Next we have Fantastic Four number 643. The internet wrecking The End Is Forever continues. With the villains' plans revealed, the invasion of Earth begins with the creatures from the Franklin-verse as well as corrupted versions of the heroes from Heroes Reborn. Will the Fantastic Four have enough power to fight them on the streets of New York? Meanwhile, Sue Namer and Jim Hammond resolve into the Franklin-verse to combat this threat at its source, but what they find is far more terrifying than they expected, plus the return of Sleepwalker and Bentley 23's finest hour. We've also got S.H.I.E.L.D. number 3, Die Hard in the Sanctum Sanctorum. With Doctor Strange elsewhere, magical terrorists have taken over Strange's sanctum. Agent Coulson must lead a strike team into the mansion before time runs out for New York City, and his only available allies are Spider-Man and one of Strange's oldest foes. Next we have Spider-Man and the X-Men number 3. Good news, Spider-Man and his ex-students got the 11:30 late-night talk show slot. Bad news, his executive producers are Chameleon and Mojo. And its first guests are the Sinister 66, plus the return of Wolverine? Well, kind of, not really, but sort of. We've also got Superior Iron Man number 5, The Secret Origin of Teen Abomination. Tony Stark's actions of the past come back to hurt him in the present. Has his negligence bred monsters, and will those monsters destroy him? Next we have Thor Annual number 1, 3 stories featuring 3 Thors. Wrestling superstar CM Punk and Rob Guillory on young Thor's idea for how to prove himself worthy of Mjolnir, a drinking competition. Noelle Stevenson and Marguerite Salvage tell a tale of the new Thor, and Jason Aaron on the Girls of Thunder's quest to find the perfect birthday present for their grandfather, King Thor. How about a new Garden of Eden? We've also got Uncanny Avengers number 2, Counter-Evolutionary Part 2. Welcome to Counter-Earth, where the future is your species is being developed by crack evolutionists. A better future awaits and is only one evolutionary update away. The new men rise for what is theirs. They seek the chaos and the speed to create the true Earth, the true evolution. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver discover a terrible truth about their past. And we've got Wolverines number 8, Betrayal, Lies. This is what happens when the Paradise Group and the Wolverines share more than alliances. And what happens when an old buddy of Wolverines shows up for a boondoggle weekend. Enter Fang. Lady Deathstrike is finally coming to the conclusion that she doesn't have to be alone, but will this moment of vulnerability come back to stab her in the back? From Boom Studios, we've got Abigail and the Snowman number 3 of 4. Abigail knows helping Claude find his way home won't be easy, goodbyes never are, but just as the two best friends set off on their journey, the Shadow Men put their top and most dangerous agent on the job of tracking the missing Yeti down. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got John Carter, Warlord of Mars number 4. With John Carter lost and presumed dead in the Martian desert, his enemy's triumph is all but assured. But who is Captain Joshua Clark of Earth, and why does his hatred for John Carter know no bounds? As Deja Thor's prays for her Warlord's safe return, the shocking origin of John Carter's arch-enemy is finally revealed. Superstar writer Ron Mars and rising star artist Abhishek Malsuni continue their acclaimed official run. And we've got Twilight Zone Shadow and Substance number 2, the wrenching conclusion of Stumbling Distance. On a trip to his past, alcoholic writer William Gaunt must decide if he'll intervene in his childhood self's imminent suicide attempt, and if he'll confront his monstrous mother. And if he does, what havoc will it wreak on the future? From IDW Publishing, we've got Orphan Black number 1, One of a Kind. Sarah's life was changed dramatically after witnessing the suicide of a woman who looked just like her. Sarah learned that not only were she and the woman clones, but there were others just like them, and dangerous factions at work set on capturing them all. Now the mysterious world of Orphan Black widens, with new layers of conspiracy being peeled back in this miniseries by co-creator John Fawcett. From Image Comics, we've got They're Not Like Us number 3, Don't Look Back. Next we have Thief of Thieves number 26, How Does the World's Greatest Thief Relax? Even on vacation, Redmond is always working. And we've got The Wicked plus the Divine number 8, Now the 11th God is here, it's time to party, you're invited, everyone's invited. We can sleep when we're dead, but when you'll be dead within 2 years, you may as well turn up in your pajamas. After 7 issues of Egomaniacs, it's time for an issue where the crowd is the star. Out in trades this week, we've got Sex Criminals Volume 2, Two Worlds, One Cop trade paperback. The second storyline from the Eisner Award-winning Sex Criminals finds the honeymoon to be over for John and Susie. Once the thrill of new lust fades, where do you go? Come along and laugh and love with Matt and Chip as they brimp back ceaselessly against the past. And we've got Walking Dead Volume 11 hardcover. After Alexandria is destroyed by Negan, the remaining communities unite for one last stand against the Saviors. The aftermath to their war leads to the biggest status quo change in the history of the acclaimed series, collecting The Walking Dead number 121 to 132. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers, and you can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.